Most pilots at the academy trained for war, dogfights, fleet engagements, heroic deaths recorded in history archives. Wyatt learned something else. He learned patience. He wasn't bad, just forgettable. No noble lineage, no influential name. When assignments were handed out, the warships went to cadets with family banners behind them. Wyatt got logistics. A single-seat hauler, frontier orbit, cargo nobody cared about. He told himself it was temporary. Everyone did. Years passed. Logistics meant repetition, quiet routes, empty space. No one shooting at you, but no one remembering you either. Wyatt flew because flying was the only thing that ever made sense to him, even if no one else thought it mattered. On the day everything changed, he wasn't thinking about destiny or history. He was thinking about finishing Earl.
Halfway through the transfer, Wyatt felt it. Not an alarm, not turbulence, but hesitation. The engines compensated a fraction too late, like space itself had flinched. Wyatt frowned and ran a diagnostic. Everything came back green. Too green. "Computer," he said calmly, "confirm local traffic." Negative. No registered vessels. That answer should have relaxed him. Instead, his stomach tightened. Wyatt throttled down and let the ship drift. The stars looked normal until he noticed the absence. A small region where the background didn't quite line up. Light bending where nothing should be. Cloaking. Real cloaking. Out here, that tech wasn't supposed to exist. Then his comm panel lit up.
Unidentified pilot. A smooth, filtered voice said, "You are off course." Wyatt didn't answer. "You will power down your engines and await inspection." Inspection wasn't the word that scared him. It was the confidence. Wyatt's sensors flickered again, multiple distortions now. More than one ship. He had no weapons worth mentioning. No combat shields. Just a light hauler and an outdated flight system. But there was one thing his ship still had. Manual control. Wyatt killed his transponder, dumped reactor output into thrusters, and rolled hard. A pulse weapon fired where he'd been moments earlier. "Computer," Wyatt said, heart racing, marked that position. If he couldn't fight, he could disappear.
Wyatt angled toward a nearby debris field, remnants of an old mining disaster. Warships avoided it. Too dense, too unpredictable. Wyatt dove straight in. Metal fragments and ice screamed past the cockpit. Alarms flared as debris scraped his hull. He twisted, rolled, trusted instinct more than instruments. Behind him, one of the larger ships followed. That was its mistake. It clipped a rotating slab of alloy. Debris shattered outward, triggering secondary impacts. Explosions rippled through the field. Wyatt cut engines. Silence. His ship drifted cold and dead among the wreckage, invisible to sensors, invisible to fear. He didn't breathe until minutes had passed. Then he powered up and ran.
Hours later, Wyatt docked at the station. Waiting for him were officers he didn't recognize. "You were followed," one of them said. Wyatt nodded. "I know." They reviewed the data in silence. Finally, one officer looked at him. "You didn't panic. You didn't freeze. And you survived." Wyatt shrugged. "I fly where people forget to look." That earned a thin smile. "Pack your things, warrant officer," the officer said. "You're being reassigned." As Wyatt walked back to his ship, something settled in his chest. Not fear, not pride. Recognition. For the first time since the academy, someone had noticed him.
Wyatt expected questions, interrogations, maybe even suspicion. Instead, he got silence. The reassignment orders were brief and strangely vague. No insignia on the hangar doors. No unit designation on the data pad. Just coordinates and a time. The ship he was assigned wasn't new, but it wasn't forgotten either. Its systems were familiar, almost deliberately so. Someone wanted him comfortable, not impressed. As technicians worked, Wyatt noticed subtle changes. Sensor calibration far beyond civilian specs. Power routing designed for precision rather than force. They weren't turning him into a weapon. They were sharpening a tool. And for the first time, Wyatt understood something important. This wasn't about rank. It was about trust.
The first mission wasn't combat. It was observation. Wyatt was sent to a border corridor where traffic patterns didn't make sense. Ships arrived light and left heavy. Logs were clean, too clean. He was told not to engage, not to interfere, only to watch. Wyatt learned quickly that watching was harder than flying. He had to notice what wasn't there. Gaps in sensor noise, repeated micro delays, and warp entries. After 3 days, he sent a single message. "They're staging something," he reported, "and they think no one's patient enough to notice." The reply came minutes later. "Good. Keep watching."
The corridor changed. More traffic, faster turnarounds, ships that avoided standard scan cones by fractions of a degree. Wyatt adjusted his own flight path to match the noise. He blended in, becoming part of the background. When a cloaked vessel brushed his sensors, just barely, he didn't react. He logged it. Then another. Then 5. Patterns emerged. Timing windows. Safe lanes hidden inside chaos. Wyatt realized the truth with a chill. This wasn't smuggling. It was preparation. And preparation meant someone, somewhere, was getting ready to move. On the 7th day, Wyatt caught something new. A transmission fragment. Broken. Encrypted. Meant for someone else. He shouldn't have been able to hear it at all. But the sender assumed automation. They didn't account for a human listening. Wyatt reconstructed what he could. Coordinates. A time window. A phrase repeated twice, like a nervous habit. Phase begins at transit. Wyatt forwarded everything. The response was immediate. Return. Now. For the first time since his reassignment, urgency cracked the calm.
As Wyatt's ship jumped away, he stared at his reflection in the cockpit glass. No new insignia, no promotion notice, no ceremony. Still a worn officer, still a commoner. But now he knew something the enemy didn't. They were invisible only to machines. Humans noticed patterns. Humans waited. Humans adapted. When his ship dropped out of warp, a fleet was already forming, quietly, efficiently, without spectacle. Wyatt transmitted his final report. He wasn't the hero of this story. He was the reason the heroes would arrive on time. And that was enough.